It's Wednesday, December the 6th, and this is The National.
Breaking tonight, a CBC Radio-Canada investigation. 3 gymnasts say their former coach sexually abused them. Decades later, they're sharing their stories.
Remembering the deadliest man-made disaster in Canadian history, we look at the legacy of the Halifax explosion a century on.
But we begin with a historic announcement by Donald Trump. It concerns this city, Jerusalem, a place at the center of so many tensions for so long. Tonight, we're here to break down a big shift in U.S. policy that has people in this region and around the world wondering what is next.
Today, we finally acknowledge the obvious, that Jerusalem is Israel's capital. This is nothing more or less than a recognition of reality. It is also the right thing to do. It's something that has to be done.
Trump also announced plans to move the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to here, Jerusalem, a process that could take years. But recognition of the city as Israel's capital is immediate, and the impact was very real right away. And that didn't take long. This is Ramallah in the West Bank late tonight. Perhaps the first shots fired in response to the U.S. president's declaration. Bullets just in the air for now. People just marching in the streets for now. A turning off of the Christmas tree lights in Bethlehem. More symbolism on show. Again, this is it for now. Truth is, there is no clear what next for Palestinians. They're hardly surprised at Donald Trump's move, but that doesn't take the edge off the frustration. And not all buy Trump's plan to keep pushing for peace, somehow.
We want an agreement that is a great deal for the Israelis and a great deal for the Palestinians. We are not taking a position of any final status issues.
Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas had a speech ready to go right after Trump's. He called the president's words constraints to all the efforts towards realizing peace, said they amount to the U.S. withdrawing from a role as a peace mediator. Abbas has mused about withdrawing security cooperation with Israel, but that's a big card to pull, and he might not have a lot to work with. How this lands depends on where you live. In Israel's West Jerusalem, such a quiet, wet night. The city had thought about celebrations tonight, but canceled them, apparently out of caution. Politicians advised to be mindful with their words. The Prime Minister, of course, fulsome.
President Trump, thank you for today's historic decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. The Jewish people and the Jewish state will be forever grateful.
So is it a bold and courageous act, a recognition of reality? As Derek Stoffel explains in Jerusalem tonight, Trump's move divides opinion in a divided city.
Storm clouds gathered over this ancient city, the site of some of the most contested real estate anywhere. But Jewish Israelis didn't let some rain dampen what they say is an historic day.
We were waiting for this for 2,000 years, since the Romans left Jerusalem for good. And now we know that not only us, the world knows that Jerusalem historically belonged to the Jewish people forever, for lasting and ever. There is no doubt for it.
Well, I'm all for it. I think it's a long time coming. I think it's a very, very important statement.
This is the main market in West Jerusalem, where Jewish Israelis come to shop. You won't find many Palestinians here. This is a divided city, with Palestinians living in East Jerusalem, an area where they want the capital for their future state. In the main market in the east, alongside the herbs for sale, a sense that Donald Trump has now clearly and firmly picked his side.
We Palestinians all know that the U.S. is supporting Israel all the way. So we actually, for educated people, it doesn't make any difference. It's not going to change anything to us.
So what does change here? Hi, Daniel. We asked Daniel Seidman, an Israeli lawyer and leading expert on Jerusalem.
Jerusalem will be as contested as ever before. It will be as divided as ever before. It will be as binational as ever before. The only change will be that the United States will have driven itself into abject isolation. It will have disqualified itself from a role as fair broker, and that is a huge change.
That is what angers so many Palestinians, that the peace process over all these years appears to have been an illusion. This means war, not an intifada, she says, a big war backed by all of the Arab people against this decision. Jerusalem is a city where high-running tensions are simply part of daily life. Now, with Trump's declaration, the concern is that the move will spark protests and perhaps violence in the coming days. Derek Stoffel, CBC News, Jerusalem.
So why is the U.S. president making this change now? Lindsay Duncombe has more about what is really behind Trump's move.
Donald Trump is pitching his plan as a fresh approach to finding peace.
We cannot solve our problems by making the same failed assumptions and repeating the same failed strategies of the past.
But what happened today is at least as much about domestic politics as it is about international deal-making.
We will move the American embassy to the eternal capital of the Jewish people, Jerusalem.
Trump wasn't the first presidential candidate to make that promise. Bill Clinton did, so did George W. Bush. Once elected, those men realized the potential consequences of such a promise and backed away.
Today,
not Trump.
I am delivering.
And delivering to two key elements of his base. Evangelical Christians, many of whom believe making Jerusalem the capital of Israel is a prerequisite for the second coming of Christ. And donors, especially this one, a pro-Israel casino magnate who donated $25 million to help Donald Trump get elected.
This decision is not intended in any way to reflect a departure from our strong commitment to facilitate a lasting peace agreement.
Intention or not, many believe with this move, the U.S. is picking sides.
People in the Arab world and across the broader Muslim world, I think, will interpret this as the United States essentially legitimizing exclusive Israeli control over Jerusalem. I do think that it is the end of an American-led peace process.
Others, though, see some promise, arguing that making Israel happy with this might be leverage enough to win concessions in the future.
Trump is a disruptor. He does things differently than conventional wisdom would dictate.
Disruption, after all, is how Trump ran his business, how he runs the Oval Office, and now how he influences the world. Lindsay Duncombe, CBC News, Washington.
And Trump's actions today are already having consequences throughout the Middle East. And that didn't take long. This is Ramallah in the West Bank late tonight. Perhaps the first shots fired in response to the U.S. president's declaration. Bullets just in the air for now. People just marching in the streets for now. A turning off of the Christmas tree lights in Bethlehem. More symbolism on show. Again, this is it for now. Truth is, there is no clear what next for Palestinians. They're hardly surprised at Donald Trump's move, but that doesn't take the edge off the frustration. And not all buy Trump's plan to keep pushing for peace, somehow.
We want an agreement that is a great deal for the Israelis and a great deal for the Palestinians.
So in all this, what about Canada? Well, Global Affairs Canada leaves questions of the city's status to a negotiated settlement between Israel and the Palestinians. As you heard, that's pretty standard around the world, but there was a moment when Canada almost went down a different road.
Good evening. The two-day-old government of Joe Clark appears headed for its first diplomatic crisis, a serious confrontation with the Arab world. And it's all because Prime Minister Clark seems determined to go ahead with his promise to move the Canadian embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
Just like Trump, Joe Clark campaigned on moving the embassy, and in 1979, he was poised to do it.
We now have an opportunity to take an action that will back up what we've been saying.
The reaction, by now, will sound familiar.
It's going to put lots of obstacles and spell gas on the existing flames.
Clark dispatched a former Conservative Party leader to the region to measure the pros and cons, and we know which side won the day.
A change in the location of the Canadian embassy in Israel could be seen as prejudging negotiations among parties in the Middle East and might in fact work against progress towards a just and lasting peace settlement. The Canadian embassy will stay in Tel Aviv.
That's been Ottawa's position ever since. So the effect of Trump's speech is as much about what he didn't say. When he left out, for example, the idea that Palestinians also see East Jerusalem as a site for their future capital, then that just seemed to seal more of the Palestinian frustration. And if past patterns repeat, and I can tell you from spending a number of years living and working here, they usually do, then you're going to see that frustration play out on the streets here very soon. And Andrew, I can tell you that's what we're watching for, while you have been watching a very active, very dangerous situation on the U.S. West Coast.
Yeah, that's right, Adrian. There are a number of wildfires ravaging Southern California as we speak. A new one broke out in the early morning hours, quickly cutting huge swaths across the region. And it was LA's upscale Bel Air neighborhood that burned. It made for an extraordinary and probably terrifying drive to work this morning. That's if you were lucky enough not to be in the direct path of those flames. This was along one of the freeways. But let me show you where the 4 major fires are. The one burning through Bel Air is called the Skirball Fire. It's not only destroyed several multi-million-dollar mansions, it's cleared out entire neighborhoods as well. It also had a crippling effect on LA traffic, which is usually already bad to begin with. To the north, there are 2 other fires burning, but the biggest and most destructive one is about 100 kilometers to the west, the Thomas Fire in California's Ventura County. It's more than 260 square kilometers big and completely uncontained on all sides. But much of the attention today is focused on that fire in Bel Air, and that's where Briar Stewart begins her story.
This is a lot of expensive homes over here.
During the early morning LA commute, flames erupted over the foothills, tearing down the slopes towards one of America's busiest freeways.
Whoa, I can feel the heat.
Emergency officials shut down a stretch of Interstate 405 for hours. On the ridges above, multi-million-dollar homes in the posh Bel Air neighborhood stood in the fire's path. At least 4 burned down. Terrifying, but not the most destructive fire now burning up Southern California.
It was surreal. I was watching them and they were filming my bedroom on fire, and then the whole thing just collapsed.
At least 150 homes have already burned and thousands more are threatened by the 4 major fires burning near Los Angeles. As the fires spread, so too do the evacuations. A few 100,000 people have been ordered to leave.
Grab your family members, grab a couple things that you need, and get out now.
Because crews warn the worst may not be over. Firefighters are stretched thin. They're overwhelmed by the fierce wind, left exhausted by fires growing too quickly to contain.
My firefighters have been working since Sunday, so our people are getting tired.
And in neighborhoods that aren't directly threatened by the flames, heavy smoke and ash fill the air. More than 50 schools in the LA area were closed today.
Watched all the fires last night. It was pretty bad, but this is it's kind of like nuclear winter, I guess.
These December wildfires are just the latest in what's been one of California's worst fire seasons ever. While it's common to have strong winds at this time of year, what is unusual is just how parched the terrain is. That's why these fires are so destructive and why so many are on edge as they continue to burn. Briar Stewart, CBC News, Vancouver.
Now, it may be weeks or even months before we know the full cost of these fires, but already California's insurance board is dealing with billions of dollars in claims from the wildfires in Northern California back in October. We're talking more than $9 billion that cover 21,000 homes and 2,800 businesses. The October fires are now considered the most deadly and most destructive in California's history. 14 people died.
Well, Andrew, here in Canada, a judge has found a Somali man guilty of hostage-taking in an Ontario court. A rare charge in this country. Ali Omar Otter was convicted in connection to the kidnapping of journalist Amanda Lindout near Mogadishu 9 years ago. Hannah Thibodeau was in the courtroom when the judge read out his decision.
The Crown says today's ruling will make it safer for Canadians around the globe.
It sends a message that if you take a Canadian citizen hostage in another country, you're not safe.
40-year-old Ali Omar Otter didn't dispute his role in the kidnapping of Amanda Lindout.
My name is Amanda Lindout.
He admitted he was the main negotiator and translator during the nearly 15 months she was held hostage. His defense? He was abducted himself and then forced to work with his so-called captors, fearing for his and his family's lives. The judge simply wasn't convinced, saying Otter's testimony was riddled with inconsistencies. In the 24-page decision, the judge called his testimony unbelievable. The hostage takers allowed him to go out and have his meals in a restaurant, often without any supervision. This evidence contradicts that he was being kept hostage. Otter was arrested after a high-profile sting by the RCMP. An undercover agent communicated with him for years before luring Otter to Canada with the false promise of a lucrative book deal. The judge noted that not once did Otter tell the agent that he or his family were in danger, persuasive evidence that Otter wasn't truthful. The accused's defense of duress is not supported by any of his recorded conversations.
His admissions to the undercover officer were critical. As you heard, Justice Smith relied heavily on those admissions in rejecting Mr. Ader's story is completely unbelievable.
The judge concluded Otter was a willing participant in the hostage-taking and could now spend the rest of his life behind bars. Hannah Thibodeau, CBC News, Ottawa.
Let's shift now to Washington, where it appears that Al Franken's time in the U.S. Senate may soon be up.
I think it would be better for the country for him to offer that clear message that he values women, that we value women, and that this kind of behavior is not acceptable. I do not feel that he should continue to serve.
That is one of more than 30 Democratic senators now calling for Franken's resignation after another woman came forward accusing him of sexual misconduct. The Democratic leader, Chuck Schumer, weighed in today, saying Franken has to go. According to Minnesota Public Radio, Franken will announce his resignation tomorrow, but a post appeared on his Twitter account just a few hours ago saying Senator Franken is talking with his family at this time and plans to make an announcement in D.C. tomorrow. Any reports of a final decision are inaccurate. Well, Time magazine has named his 2017 Person of the Year, and it's a nod to the Me Too movement. The title was given to not just one person, but shared by a group, the Silence Breakers, voices of those women and men speaking publicly, sharing their stories, and setting off an international reckoning about the prevalence of sexual assault and harassment.
We're doing this because they've changed cultural norms. This is a shift that is unprecedented in its speed. Not since the 60s have we seen cultural norms change this quickly.
Actress Ashley Judd, who is at the center of the Harvey Weinstein sexual assault allegations, is featured on the cover, as are singer Taylor Swift and former engineer with Uber Susan Fowler, as well as a woman whose face is obscured, symbolizing all of those women and men whose names we don't know or who have yet to come forward. And a little later on The National, you'll hear from another woman who's sharing her own story. She's a Canadian model who says she was groped by Harvey Weinstein, her push to change the culture in the modeling world and create a safer space for others.
And 100 years after the Halifax explosion, we'll look at the lasting bond formed between two cities that day, and we'll hear from a survivor who was just 6 years old when disaster struck.
Mothers grabbing their kids and hugging them and stuff. Please, oh God, I never want to see that again.
Good evening, I'm Knowlton Nash. On News Magazine tonight, a tense week in Israel as Prime Minister Begin struggles to hold together a government shaken by the Palestinian issue. We'll have that story later. But there also was disappointing news from Canada today for Begin. Prime Minister Clark announced Canada would not move our embassy to Jerusalem. That move had been an election promise, and it may have won some close races in heavily Jewish ridings. The promise remained firm after the election, firm until the storm of Arab protests and threats. Former Conservative leader Bob Stanfield was sent to the Middle East, and his recommendation, don't move the embassy. Today, Clark changed his mind, agreed with Stanfield, and said the embassy would not be moved.
His mandate, sir, Mr. Stanfield was asked for a recommendation on the implementation of our policy on Jerusalem in a way that would be compatible with the efforts that are being made to achieve a comprehensive peace settlement in the Middle East. As a result of extensive consultation, Mr. Stanfield has concluded that a change in the location of the Canadian Embassy in Israel could be seen as prejudging negotiations among parties in the Middle East and might in fact work against progress towards a just and lasting peace settlement. Sir, the purpose of this government is to encourage that peace. Consequently, the government accepts the recommendation that no action be taken on the location of the Canadian Embassy until the status of Jerusalem is clarified within a comprehensive agreement between Israel and its Arab neighbors. We look forward, sir, to receiving Mr. Stanfield's final report so that the government might consider other matters involving our relations with the Middle East.
That's News Magazine for tonight. I'm Knowlton Nash, and for Ann Medina in Tel Aviv and myself, good night.
The Halifax explosion was a defining moment for our city and for our province.
A somber ceremony marking 100 years since Halifax Harbour and much of the North End were ripped apart by a catastrophic ship explosion after a collision. Today, hundreds of people braved strong winds and soaking rain, remembering the frantic search for survivors and coping with 2,000 dead and 9,000 wounded, all marking Halifax's recovery and resilience. On the water, too, a cacophony of noise, horns blasting for one of the worst maritime disasters in Canadian history. There were a lot of people out and about that morning on their way to school or work when suddenly everything changed. Tom Murphy takes us back in time with the help of a survivor.
It brought a city to its knees in an instant. 2 square kilometers of Halifax simply obliterated by the largest human-made explosion prior to Hiroshima. 1,600 dead in the first few seconds. Another 400 would later die. A tragedy so horrific, it was once described as hell on earth.
The collision happened exactly at this spot.
Right over here.
Right opposite us is what used to be Pier 6.
Author Janet Mabey says the explosion brought the devastation of World War I home.
Some of the returning soldiers said they had not seen worse destruction on the fields in Flanders than what they came home to here. And you have to realize that some of them would be coming home to find their own homes completely destroyed and their family all killed. So it must have been a horrific occasion.
Yeah, how are you feeling that day?
Why?
She's 106 years old now, and so Maud Houghton must rely on her son for her most basic needs. Her hearing, her memories are fading.
Just wanted to get away.
But incredibly, the painfully vivid images of an ordinary walk to school that extraordinary day have never left her.
And boom! What an explosion. I'll never forget that day. Nobody forgets those days. You can't. People laying down, crying, and mothers grabbing their kids and hugging them and stuff. Please, oh God, I never want to see that again.
No.
Nope.
If the giant blast didn't instantly kill those immediate area, the ensuing tsunami, a 10-meter-high wall of water, did. And what wasn't smashed to bits, burned to the ground. Among the casualties, this fire crew responding to the initial fire aboard the ships. All were killed by the blast, but one. The driver was found a distance away, remarkably still clutching the broken steering wheel. The blast toppled wood and coal stoves around the city, setting homes and businesses ablaze all over Halifax.
So fire brigades immediately were launched from those outlying communities to come into Halifax and help.
And what happened when they arrived?
What happened when they arrived was that they discovered that their hoses did not fit with the water sources in Halifax. So I think they returned to just basically trying to pull people out from under the collapsed houses and to control the fires as best they could.
It was said you could hear the cries of those trapped in the burning ruins, and on the street, you had to step over the bodies. Of the dead, 500 of them were children. Another 9,000 people were badly injured by flying glass and debris, charred, horribly disfigured, blinded. And to add to the misery of that day, a raging blizzard would cut the city off from outside help, burying the ruins of Halifax.
The blizzard was a huge complication because it meant that people that might have been rescued were now buried under snow as well as the rubble and the fires. So it did slow down the rescue operation terrifically that next day.
But help did arrive, and contrary to popular opinion, Boston was not the first to the rescue. Trains came from surrounding communities, but they couldn't get right into the city because of the twisted tracks. Medical staff had to carry supplies by hand to the injured.
There were many never even found because there was a tsunami, a wave of water that came up the shore on both sides and washed away numbers of people who were never seen again. So indeed, a lot of the records show from the Relief Commission that bodies simply were never found. There were also people here who weren't in any way listed on anyone's records. So we never really will know for sure the number of actual deaths from that explosion.
For those who survived, life would not be easy. 25,000 were left homeless or without adequate shelter. Food lines became a common scene.
We want to forget it. It hurts so much.
For the few survivors still alive, people like 106-year-old Maud Houghton, the ordeal has left enduring scars a century later. Tom Murphy, CBC News, Halifax.
We heard Tom mention Boston, that city playing a pivotal role in the relief effort. Within hours, it filled 2 trains with supplies and sent them north. And the help kept coming in the weeks that followed. As Paul Hunter tells us, to this day, the cities have a special connection.
In downtown Boston, the final few touches on an annual thank you to Boston with love from an ever grateful city of Halifax. The backstory is familiar to many, that mega explosion flattening so much of Halifax. But less familiar, the urgent call for help that was answered by Boston's nurses and doctors who raced north to help as many Nova Scotians as possible. And they helped countless. This month, 100 years later, Nova Scotia came to Boston, and at Massachusetts State House, it was a night to honor Boston's century-old goodwill.
You, as Bostonians, as Massachusetts, responded to our call and came to the aid of our city and to our province.
Premier Stephen McNeil, among the many Canadians here to celebrate and remember. With them, an American-born daughter of 2 Haligonians. As children, Beth Thompson's parents survived the Halifax blast. It changed their world. All those wounded led her mom into a life of medicine. And, like mother, like daughter.
You became a nurse because of your mom, and your mom became a nurse because of the Halifax explosion.
Yep. That's why I became a nurse. My mother would tell me all these things and how important it is to take care of people. And in fact, just standing here talking to you, I'm doing homage to my parents and my people. I mean, I have lots and lots of relatives in Halifax, you know, and it's really very emotional for me. Hard to say that in words.
Meanwhile, over at the Massachusetts Eye and Ear Infirmary, we caught up with Joan Miller, a Canadian doctor practicing in Boston with a keen interest in that explosion. For all those doctors and nurses who went up from Boston, she tells us, the terrible circumstance in Halifax was an immeasurable learning experience. Lessons they brought home that improved the treatment of eye injuries and, to this day, the medical care of children.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't even calculate the number of people that were saved out of that, because it really created a whole new field and allowed us to care for children in different situations.
They mobilize extremely quickly.
Now, as Boston shows off its memories of that time, the care given, the lessons learned, it's to a still grateful province.
The people of Boston came to our rescue. It is an enduring relationship that has stayed through this entire time.
As for that tree, it even had its own Twitter page, chronicling the journey from Inverness County, Cape Breton Island, all the way to Boston, which, by the way, this year ended with an added permanent marker for it in Boston Common. And that night, this year's giant thank you. Exploding in light in Boston Common, Nova Scotia remembers, always. Paul Hunter, CBC News, Boston.
We also want to tell you about a new online feature that places you inside the events of December 6th, 100 years ago.
The First World War still rages, and Halifax is an important hub and far from danger. At least that's what everyone thought.
CBC News has launched a new, exclusive, interactive experience. Go back with Adrian Arsenault to the day of the Halifax explosion and experience the story for yourself in 360. From the sights to the sounds, be there to see what went wrong. Then learn more about the incredible stories in the aftermath, including the railway conductor who gave his life to save countless others. Check out the 360 experience on desktop, mobile, and headset. cbcnews.ca/Halifax Explosion. We have much more ahead tonight, but as we go to break, the Micmac victims of the explosion are often overlooked. It is a lost legacy, and we wanted to mark that in a different way. So we reached out to Rebecca Thomas, a spoken word artist. She's Mi'kmaq and currently the Poet Laureate of Halifax. Here's part of her poem, Remember Turtle Grove.
I'd like to talk about the inhabitants of Turtle Grove. They are the first on this list because they were the first to be dismissed in this tragedy and others due to their perceived savagery and colors washed away from their shores. Nobody asked about them or wanted to know more. The tidal wave of destruction did not soften the hearts of survivors. My Mi'kmaq sisters and brothers were racially segregated and treated less than by colonizers who cared more for their kin with matching skin, even though at this point the same God they both believed in. And it's important that you understand my need to be persistent, consistently fighting for my people, because we didn't even make it into the full-length Heritage Minute sequel. The lives of 9 should not overshadow those that died by the thousands, but to be mourned and recognized as though we were equals.
The First World War still rages, and Halifax is an important hub and far from danger. At least that's what everyone thought.
CBC News has launched a new, exclusive, interactive experience. Go back with Adrian Arsenault to the day of the Halifax explosion and experience the story for yourself in 360. From the sights to the sounds, be there to see what went wrong. Then learn more about the incredible stories in the aftermath, including the railway conductor who gave his life to save countless others. Check out the 360 experience on desktop, mobile, and headset. cbcnews.ca/Halifax Explosion.
It really was mammoth. From the introductory stage, we had to figure out how to build Halifax as it existed in 1917. so from Environment Canada data to actually get the hillsides dipping into the water, to where the water is, to where the bay is, how the curvature of it flows around into the basin, to insurance maps on where the buildings actually were, what they were made of, how tall they were, just to get that basic construction phase done before we had any storytelling around it. Took a lot of research, and we had a great team in Halifax to help us sort of dig through the archives and visit the universities and figure out where to get all of that material in the first place too.
I think the challenge was putting the camera in the best place to tell the story, where you could see everything you needed to see to understand as almost a participant why the decisions were made on that day that made such a difference.
You're placing items on a stage, you're trying to direct where people might pay attention, but also acknowledging that they may be paying attention to other areas. You're trying to light it in accurate ways, play with shadows, play with misdirection and direction, and all of that comes into play. So we're actually very lucky that both of us had a bit of a theater background coming into this to actually play with some of those concepts before the construction actually started.
We did draw by hand. Dwight mocked up by hand storyboards and
just like a conventional movie.
At the very beginning.
But we knew that those storyboards would only show 1/4 of the story, which is weird because you have to sign off on something knowing that there's this whole world that you can't see in the storyboards that is going to have to be built. We started off with laser topography, and then we layered in the buildings from insurance maps and details from the archives, archival photographs, and then on top of that, the events that you see, the ships moving, explosions, that basically comes from eyewitness testimony. You've probably seen these microphones where basically the two microphones are coming out of a dummy head. That's ambisonics. So she was able to put those sounds in space so that when you're using goggles to look around, everything's coming from where it should be coming.
What happens when you flip your phone and the entire environment has to flip with you? What happens when light filters through fog and disperses at different rates? And then we have to figure out how to render the fog on a mobile device versus on a desktop device. And getting it all to work with the device sensors that we have in smartphones today versus the desktop machine as well. It's the most technically challenging project this team has undertaken yet. I want them to feel connection to the history. As we've laid it out geographically, cinematically, getting human characters in there, feeling a sense of the humanity of who died, who was lost, who came back from the edge, getting a sense that this was a real thing that happened.
It does really come alive when you've been working with models of kids running across the street for months, and then suddenly you can hear their footsteps and them laughing, and you're like, wow, I'm there, I'm right there. You know, all of this went to trial. After a disaster like this, it all went to trial, and all the people who survived, who were key to the event, testified. And so we actually know what happened according to their testimony, and so this is not an interpretation, this is fact.
On the National tonight, a 17-year-old ski racer from Germany has died after crashing during a race at Lake Louise in Alberta. Max Burkhardt was competing yesterday in the North American Cup when he lost control and crashed into safety netting. They airlifted him out to a hospital in Calgary in critical condition, but he died earlier today. Police in Hamilton say they are closing in on the man accused in last weekend's shooting death of a Good Samaritan. They released new images of 19-year-old Dale King and warned that he's changed his appearance since the shooting. They believe he's now clean-shaven with short hair. King is wanted for second-degree murder in the death of 19-year-old Yusuf Al-Haznawi.
Investigations were sometimes botched. So a series of things that led to the conclusion that we had a systemic and very, very serious problem that needed drastic improvement and drastic, very important changes.
Quebec's public security minister says he has no choice but to suspend Montreal's police chief after a report criticized how Philippe Pichet ran his department. Police spied on journalists, and some officers under investigation were given preferential treatment. The head of the provincial police, the Sûreté du Québec, will take over the Montreal force temporarily. Harvey Weinstein and his former businesses, Miramax and the Weinstein Company, are facing a class action lawsuit tonight. It was filed today by 6 women on behalf of the scores of others who claim the producer sexually assaulted or harassed women in the industry. They also allege several Weinstein board members knew what was going on and allowed it to happen. Today, Weinstein's lawyers insisted no legal wrongdoing occurred. Now, the Weinstein scandal opened the floodgates for people to share their experiences with sexual harassment. And tonight, Canadian models are speaking out about inappropriate behavior in the fashion industry. Salima Shivji has their stories.
Tried to cater to these clients.
Marianne Trudel is a model who spent years in the jet-set New York fashion scene, a scene that included Harvey Weinstein. She says a decade ago she was assaulted by the now disgraced movie producer in the empty upstairs area of a popular restaurant.
He just really grabbed me very strong by the waist and just pulled me towards him very brusque, like really rough, and then just started kissing me. But as I'm pushing him back, you know, and saying no, then he reached for my breasts and started telling me, well, show me your tits then, and opening my blouse while still holding me.
She says she was able to free herself and run for the stairs. The allegation has not been proven in court. Trudel tried to forget the encounter. As a model, she had been trained not to make a fuss.
It was just the norm to just brush it off, not say anything, let it go, because otherwise you would pay a big price for, you know, being the difficult one.
That price doesn't matter to her anymore. She recently reported the alleged assault to NYPD investigators who flew to Montreal to get her statement.
Just wanted to add my name, just that +1, not even my name, I just wanted the number, like I want the number to be accurate.
And she went further. Trudel felt it was her duty to call out others in her industry for inappropriate behavior, including a Montreal-based fashion photographer who she says tried to trade sex for photos. The photographer has erased his online presence.
You need rent, you're depending on that.
Trudel may be speaking out to push for change, but other models are still whispering, using closed Facebook groups to crowdsource stories about questionable photographers.
He actually came over to me and pulled my shirt over so that my nipple was out.
He's pushy.
Drew Catherine was fed up of dealing with such behavior. She started this Facebook group last spring to create a closely monitored safe space for models only.
What this group provides is almost like a union or an agency for us to fall back on. If my sister ever got into modeling, I'd want her to have this group.
The support is vital for freelance models who aren't with an agency and have to work harder to protect themselves from dangerous situations.
I always try and take a chaperone with me.
Especially since they pose almost nude. Not every photographer is a problem. Still, they all have stories of some who ignore model release forms that spell out what type of photos are off limits, and stories of others getting way too close.
He was just a little bit too forceful with me. He was a little bit too touchy and a little bit too let me fix this and too let me guide you through the door.
Model Sarah Ziff has been fighting these issues for years. She's trying to get New York state legislation changed to protect models from workplace harassment.
Ideally, modeling agencies would be the first line of defense. And some agencies are better than others. But unfortunately, modeling agencies are not licensed and regulated as talent agencies.
Most models are also contract workers without a union, who then is accountable when someone in the crowded room crosses the line. For Marianne Trudel, the time to answer those questions is now.
We have to really be active in trying to establish concrete changes.
While the world is paying attention. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Toronto.
And do stay with us. We'll be right back.
Anyone who thinks that a $50 or $100 ticket will actually cost them $50 or $100 is clearly a naive, a mark who needs to learn the rules of the game. Strictly speaking, scalping tickets above face value is illegal everywhere in Canada except BC. But about 100 scalpers busily ply their trade in Toronto without too much hassle from the law, as long as they're not too brazen about it. So it's like one big open-air bazaar out there before game time, with scalpers buying from season ticket holders who can't use their tickets and selling for whatever they think they can get. And one veteran scalper, Glenn, no last names please, says he still gets a kick out of the cut and thrust of the marketplace.
I love it. It's more of it's a rush. It's an adrenaline rush.
What's the adrenaline rush of scalping? Explain this
It's fun.
to me.
It's fun taking money from people. You don't understand that. It's just, it's a rush. It's like a gambler. If you see a gambler at a racetrack, it's like you're cashing in.
It's not a low-level bother for us. It's a major customer service issue.
You'd think scalpers would be just a minor league irritation to Ticketmaster's Tom Worrell.
Hi, this is Ticketmaster. My name is Joseph. How can I help you?
Ticketmaster provides box office service to just about every major venue in Canada, usually charging $6 or $7 above the face price. And it's constantly jousting with scalpers and ticket brokers to keep the best seats from their clutches.
We see disappointment from fans not getting access to tickets, not being able to buy tickets. We put in many different types of controls to make sure that tickets are distributed in a fair and equitable manner, that seats get into the hands of most of the customers. Scalpers, of course, are on the opposite end, and they're always trying to buy up as much inventory as they can. I can give you some examples. Outlets, for instance, the scalpers will hire homeless people. They'll go to the halfway houses. They'll rent buses and stack the lines at our outlets.
Why don't you get into a legal line of work?
It's illegal, but it's a bylaw, right? It's a technical thing, right? I don't see anything wrong with what I do. I'm providing a service. If I buy a stock for $5 and sell it 2 days later for $10, and I do that with 1 million shares, I'm a genius. If I buy 100 tickets and charge $10 more than what they're worth 2 days later, I'm a crook.
But so low level that most cops can't be bothered nailing them. The fine's rarely more than $100, and it's often hard to prove in court. Besides, scalpers will often sell below face price to some events, still making money because they bought way below face price. At Blue Jay games nowadays, you can often do better with scalpers than at the box office. As long as scalpers behave civilly, not always a given, cops will look the other way, except for one who has made scalpers his special mission. How long have you been chasing after scalpers?
I've been charging them since approximately 1990.
Lauren Bass knows he won't wipe them out, but that doesn't mean he has to abide their snubbing of the bylaw. The law is the law, no matter how inconsequential.
To a CBC News Radio Canada investigation now. Serious allegations against a high-performance gymnastics coach. Our colleagues at Radio Canada Sports have spoken with 3 athletes who allege sexual misconduct by their coach, one of the most experienced gymnastic coaches in the country. This goes back to the 1980s. Marie Malchalas is breaking the story tonight, and an important warning: the details are especially graphic and likely to be disturbing.
Michel Arsenault was hired as a coach by Montreal's Flip Gym in 1983. It was his first big coaching job. At first, athletes seemed to progress well under his guidance. His former gymnasts say things changed about a year after he started.
Il commençait à faire des crises, à nous réprimander vraiment de façon très sévère. Dès les premières erreurs qu'on faisait. Vraiment, il y a eu un changement drastique de son comportement, de son attitude, mais de sa personnalité.
Arsenault, she says, started separating the young athletes from their parents, putting up a curtain around the training area so no one could watch training sessions.
Mais les raisons qui étaient données pour ça, c'est qu'il y a des gens qui pourraient venir épier ces méthodes de coaching.
Comme parents, on n'avait pas accès à rien du tout.
Arsenault also allegedly started asking the young gymnasts inappropriate questions.
Si elle avait des rêves érotiques, si ça arrivait qu'elle se touche, si elle avait des fantasmes sexuels. Bien, mes gymnastes avaient entre 12 et 16 ans.
Arsenault may have gone further. Radio-Canada Sport has spoken with 3 former gymnasts who say Arsenault sexually abused them when they were minors.
Je revis le moment. Il me touchait. Il m'a embrassé.
A woman we're calling Isabelle was coached by Arsenault in the 1980s. She says Arsenault forced her to masturbate him. She was 15 years old at the time.
Il voulait que je le touche. Je voulais rien faire. Il a pris ma main et il m'a forcé. Et parce que moi, je voulais rien faire, on l'a fait ensemble.
Another gymnast gave a written statement under the condition that her identity was protected. He gave some excuse about an athlete-coach meeting to empty himself on me, and he left me there in his room, covered in semen. I cried, and I went home. Our investigation found a police complaint was filed against Michel Arsenault in the 90s. No charges were laid, and police will not comment on the investigation. Another gymnast, Linda, says she was touched in a sexual way by Arsenault during massage sessions held in the dark. She was 14 years old.
Quand il massait, c'était correct au début, mais à un moment donné, il y avait toujours une main qui descendait plus bas ou sur les parties que moi, je ne voulais pas nécessairement. Ouais. Et je l'ai laissé aller pour peut-être quelques secondes ou peut-être quelques minutes. Là, je ne peux pas dire combien de temps parce que j'ai figé, j'ai gelé. Et moi, par la suite, je me suis assise puis recroquevillée sur moi-même.
Radio-Canada Sport has obtained a copy of a letter Arsenault wrote to Isabelle when she was 16. In it, Arsenault proposes marriage when she turns 18. Isabelle says she began to hurt herself so she would not have to be around Arsenault.
Afin de ne pas avoir à établir une excuse qui aurait été refusée, je prenais ma cuillère, il n'y avait personne. Je me frappais les poignets et les chevilles jusqu'à ce qu'elles soient bleues, enflées. Moi, je croyais que c'était la seule façon que j'allais éviter cette personne.
The athletes say they became more and more isolated.
Tu parles de moins en moins à tes parents de ce qui se passe au gym parce que tu sens que tu es en train de trahir celui qui va t'amener sur le podium olympique, celui qui te promet de réaliser ton rêve de petite fille.
Michel Arsenault was fired from Flip Gym in 1993. The board's president at the time remembers the reasons were serious.
Brutalité, violence, insultes, moqueries, diminuer les athlètes, mais alors humilier physiquement, des humiliations d'apparence physique.
The ex-gymnasts we spoke to say they still have open wounds.
Ça m'a traumatisé, ça m'a changé, ça a affecté ma vie entière jusqu'aujourd'hui.
Michel Arsenault fought his dismissal, but left Quebec in 1994 to settle in Alberta. He opened his own gym, Champion Gymnastics, in 2002 in Edmonton. Michel Arsenault still coaches young athletes to this day. He has not responded to our multiple requests for comment. Marie Malchelas, CBC News, Montreal.
And late this evening, after our story broke, Champion Gymnastics issued a statement hoping to reassure parents that it is taking the allegations seriously and that Arsenault will no longer be involved with the club.
Well, 28 years ago today, a burst of gunfire in Montreal's École Polytechnique abruptly ended the lives of 14 female students.
Une minute de silence à la mémoire de ces victimes.
Today, they were remembered in a moment of silence in the Quebec National Assembly and in the House of Commons in Ottawa. The Prime Minister, currently on a trade mission in China, also took a moment to pay tribute.
What happened in Montreal that day was a senseless act of violence that shocked the country and the world.
Tonight, 14 beams of light shine above Montreal, one for each life lost, as the city remembers the victims of the Polytechnique massacre on this day in 1989.
When they launched Annex C last month, it was beautiful to a lot of people on Earth, too. People who will use it to broadcast pay TV. What we're in for now is a lavish coast-to-coast extravaganza of pay TV commercials. From now to February 1st, there will be no escape.
Get going with First Choice Pay TV.
First Choice will be the new nationwide movie channel, and there's no question they're going to use the hard sell.
With entertainment.
These commercials cost plenty, so somebody thinks pay TV is going to be a bonanza and not just First Choice.
All the stars under the stars.
There will also be regional movie channels. They'll be selling just as hard.
Super Channel, come February 1st, you can be part of it.
Well, sit tight, folks, only a movie.
And in addition to these regional movie channels, there will be a nationwide channel for the performing arts. That one's called C Channel.
I have to have a satellite dish, and I send it up to Annex C, and the cable company pulls it down off the satellite, all right, scrambles the signal, sells it to you, then after the sale is made, it gets unscrambled and you receive the signal.
But receiving the signal is in itself a huge business. These people are making cable TV converters, 3,000 a day at a Gerald plant in Toronto. No recession here.
Depending on what the regulators do, how much money goes into programming and creating good programming, we could have a hell of a business.
The theory is that we can't afford to go out anymore, so we'll all stay at home watching pay TV. Fine, but getting it can be complicated and expensive.
If you want to get pay TV, this is the first thing you have to get, basic cable TV service. But you also need to get a converter to get the extra channels, and that's where it gets complicated. You may already have a converter, but it will not work for pay TV. That's because it looks like this. There's a gap in here, and what you need is one of these new ones, which has this extra module in it, which is a de-scrambler that will unscramble the scrambled pay television signals as they come from the cable company. Now, there are two things you can do. Either you can rent one of these new converters with the de-scrambler from the cable company, or if you already have a converter, you can get what they call an add-on unit. That is one of these black boxes. It's just a de-scrambler, and you can slip that under your existing converter if you have one. Now, there are two obvious problems with all of this. The first is that if you have one of those fancy new televisions with a built-in converter, you're out of luck.
The doctors are confident, and that was my discussion with the Prime Minister last week, that I'll be able to maintain a normal work and personal routine, and I don't intend to spend a lot of time at home feeling sorry for myself.
That was Federal Fisheries Minister Dominic LeBlanc speaking to reporters today after revealing he's been diagnosed with a type of chronic leukemia. He says he found out about the diagnosis last April, but only went public today because he's about to start treatment. As for his work, as you heard, he says he'll be able to maintain a normal schedule. Also tonight, another bizarre twist in the case involving embassy workers who suffered hearing and vision damage after hearing loud sounds in Cuba. The Associated Press is reporting that doctors have found brain abnormalities in U.S. victims. According to AP, tests have revealed changes to the white matter tracts in the workers' brains. Those are what let different parts of the brain communicate. Several Canadian embassy workers have reported symptoms as well, but we don't know if they've undergone similar tests. Investigators are still trying to figure out what or who was responsible, but the U.S. still believes it was a targeted attack.
Well, this is non-trade compliant, and so Brad Walls has 1 week to kill this ridiculous restriction, or we're going to take them to court.
A war over license plates is brewing between Alberta and its neighbor to the east. Saskatchewan is banning workers with Alberta plates from new highway projects. The government says it's just trying to level the playing field, claiming that workers with Saskatchewan plates have faced the same treatment in Alberta for years. Alberta denies that. Let's go back to Adrian in Jerusalem.
Andrew, there are a few developments we're watching for right now. It's already Thursday morning here. Schools seem to be canceled for Palestinian children. There are mass rallies planned across the West Bank and Gaza in just a few hours. Certainly, Israel's security services are on edge, and really so are the politicians, because they're waiting to see if some countries will make good on those threats to withdraw diplomatic relations and whether the Palestinian Authority will pull back on its cooperation. And that is the National for December 6th.
Good night.
Good night.